I'm in the home of J.R. Alley, and in just a few minutes, you're going to hear his incredible story of being on the front lines in Korea as a 22-year-old young man. And not only are we proud of J.R. for his service to our country, we're also proud of J.R. as a member of our church. And we have a hero here walking amongst us. And just listen to his story and the credit that he gives to God.
Yeah, I got this letter from from the government, and I'd been drafted to go, been drafted into the service, U.S. Army, and so I didn't really like getting the letter, but I didn't have any choice to go. Yeah, I was drafted specifically for the Korean War. Yeah, they were needing men. Went to Fort Leonard Wood first, and then I was shipped to Fort Knox, Kentucky. Spent several months down there and got a lot of good training. They wanted me to be a tanker, and I said no, I'd rather not. So my MOS, I said I'll stay in the infantry, take my chances on the ground. Yeah, after I got all my training, they sent me to Korea, and that was in the spring of '52. I was in Company B, 160th Infantry Regiment, 40th Division of the 8th Army, and they shipped me up to the front lines in Korea, and it was a scary adventure. They had us outnumbered greatly. I was probably 10 to 1.
Wow.
And they would give 10 of their men just to get one of us. They had the men to spare. No shortage on manpower on their part. They had more ammunition than we had too. Well, they were equipped for it. They started that awful war, and they were equipped for it. And but we came back and pushed them back.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I spent several months on the front lines.
Yeah.
Well, I had the old M1 rifle and an M2 carbine, and always carried a 45 caliber pistol. Always had those with me. But my main weapon was 60 millimeter mortar. That was my specialty, and I got real good with that. I'm not a bragger. I don't brag about it, but I was really efficient with the 60 millimeter mortar, really effective. And I remember one time the FO, Forward Observer, he said, "Well, you just knocked out a machine gun nest." I said, "Oh, great,
Yeah,
great,
great.
you know." Well, I didn't know for sure that I was going to survive that. But like I said, I had prayed to God to bring me through that war safely, and He did. And He kept His promise. I kept my promise. And but it was an awful war. Saw good buddies get killed, and that's a sad sight to see good men get killed. But the wars are terrible. It was a bloody war, a terrible war, yeah. It'll soon be, 69 or 70 years. But I still think about that, still dream about it, something I'll never forget. I know when I got back from Korea, and then I got married in June '55, and my wife, wonderful woman, several times she'd wake me up. She said, "Wake up, you're having bad dreams." So I had a lot of bad dreams, bothered me for a long, long time. And I still think about it. Think about some of those guys that I knew, I got real close to, depended on. We depended on each other. And I'll never forget it, really. I couldn't make it without God. I give God the credit every day that I'm still healthy and well, alive. I give God the credit for that. My life was in danger. Most all the time I was over in Korea, my life was in danger, severe danger. And so I give God the credit for being the great God that He is. Yeah. I was still on the front lines when we got the word. I guess the generals had agreed on a ceasefire, and I was still on the front lines, and we were shelling the heck out of each other, you know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I think it was around 10 o'clock at night, everything got perfectly quiet. From all of that noise, shelling, everything got perfectly quiet. It was a wonderful feeling. We serve a wonderful God, very dependable God, and I pray a lot, many times every day. Pray a lot, and when I finally got back from the Korean War, got active in church, and that's when I met my wife. Met her in 1953, and she was already active in church. She already had her degree in nursing. She was a registered nurse, and so anyway, we went to church every Sunday. Well, Wednesdays too. All the activities, and always looked forward from Sunday to Sunday. And she did too. We both did. Sunday to Sunday. Sunday's the big day, the important day. The Lord's Day, the fourth commandment. And yeah, always remember that.
And I just want to say to you personally and from all of our church, thank you very much for your service.
Well, God bless you.
And not only for your service,
God bless you.
but also what you did afterwards in raising your family and the contributions that you've made to society and the volunteer work that you've done in church, and not just in church, but also outside organizations, outside the church that you volunteered for. And you're a true living testimony of somebody that's been through a lot, and you could echo this statement, I've been through enough to know that God's enough, and that God sustains you. And I really appreciate you sharing that with us today.
Well, God is very dependable, a wonderful God, tremendous God, and I pray to Him often, and I thank Him every day that I'm still alive and healthy and well. And I think of those guys that got killed over there in Korea, and how lucky I am to be alive, and to marry a wonderful wife, and to have a good family. And but there's been sadness here at home, you know. You lose a good spouse. Oh, that's an awful feeling, to lose a good spouse. And then I've lost all my brothers. There was four of us boys. I lost my three brothers, and I lost my oldest son. So I've been through a lot. But to God be the credit for bringing me through those things, you know.